Holy crap, it's record time. Well, we're live. I didn't live in color. Wait for that, your live thing come off the screen. You can do what you wanna do. You live in color. What is going on tonight, World Wide Web, and why does it feel like my light has not gotten any better? I'm starting the show a few minutes early tonight. We got a lot to cover and not much time to cover it. Yeah, right, I got all night long. Quick thing, apologies for last night. I tried for until about 10:15 last night to get this damn thing to go live. It wasn't happening. But that's all right. We like Friday nights better for some odd reason. Oh, man. So, to be honest with you, it kind of caught me off guard. It actually went a little bit early. So now that we're on, we'll do now World Wide Web. Daddy, you're angry toy guy, and I'm here, and I'm in live living color, and I cannot believe it actually went on time this time. I was just being smart ass going a few minutes early tonight. Just see how long it's going to take it to actually go. A few little touch-up things I was trying to do. Thought I'll go ahead and hit the button now. So, tonight ought to be a little interesting, without a doubt. We'll talk about a night stalking, something night stalking. Talk about some dude once named Chopper, and man, I've got to fix this. This ain't working for me. I gotta get like different lighting in here. This sucks. Or something darker up over that light, because like I said, this officially sucks balls. Move this, move that. See, maybe if I get out of light a little bit. Better mochetta. Now, as you can see up above my head is old Scareglow. Which is where he will reside for now. Until I decide that he needs to go somewhere else. And who knows when that'll be, because since he was the official winner of the Angry Toy Guy contest for Best Sculpted Design Classics figure, well, you know, when we do next year's, he's not going to be allowed to compete. However, for next year, I have officially made up my mind. For next year's tournament, we're going to, one, add the animals. In other words, like Cringer, Battle Lion, Battle Cat, Panther, which I do plan on having that here before too long. Hang on. So, we're going to add the rides. Um, you know, figure why not? And we're going to add the 2000X figures to the competition, which gonna have to see how it plays out. Um, I may start going ahead and working on the brackets here before too long, even though I know I still got 4 months to actually get them done. Um, see how it goes. See if I can figure it up just right. But yeah, we're gonna expand the tournament for next year and go from there. Like I said, we know next year there will be no Scare Glow to compete, so that'll be good. All right. So, like I said, as the episode is titled "A Night Stalking Chopper," means we're going to talk about two things. And yes, I'm going to leave the surprise unveiling to the very last to make everybody um, who watches this wonder and excitement for what it is, and for anybody that shows up here live. And I'm going to probably say this whenever I get ready to unveil this. Don't be spoiling it for anybody else. Because I want to see if people will watch. Like I said, this surprise has been a long labor of love, basically, and a very painstaking pain in my ass. But anyways, so first thing we're going to talk about tonight, we're going to talk about that evil robotic horse, Night Stalker. So Night Stalker was originally introduced in the '84 German audio plays. He was known as the mechanical demon horse, who was the evil counterpart to Stridor. Initially called Nightmare and programmed to attack, he was invulnerable due to its heavy armor. Skeletor used him once to infiltrate the royal palace. Basically, Skeletor discovered the horse, unaware of its origins, and took it to Eternus. Once Night Stalker went through the palace gates, a ray bomb dropped out of the horse and exploded, putting everybody to sleep. At the same time, Zor was trapped inside the horse. And in keeping with an old prophecy, his electronics ensured Zor would turn into a demon if anyone attempted to free her. Man-at-Arms, however, was successful in freeing Zor without doing any harm to her. After that, Night Stalker remained in the Monster Warrior's possession. He later carried Dragstore during his long and dangerous journey through the plains of eternity. I always wondered where Night Stalker came from because, to be honest, I don't remember. I mean, he was never in Filmation, as evidenced by what we're seeing here. So, yeah, it is what it is. It's saying he wasn't in any of the mini comics. So, the A6 UK comic mags, they was the evil steeds used by the evil warriors. While most of them was mechanical, Triclops rode a biological stalker when he was spying on the fisherman who had alerted He-Man to the Jewel of Fire. Night Stalker was again had a was again a unique creature in the German Kappa comics. Was rumored to be part robot and part demon, programmed to attack on Eternia. Featured the laser guns for combat. Now, Skeletor rode Night Stalker for most of the time, but served as a ride for the rest of his henchmen as well. Honestly, we didn't see much of Night Stalker in a lot of the older canons, any of the comics, comic magazines, cartoons. Never really saw it. Hopefully, Kevin Smith will make sure the Night Stalker is used. Oh, there's a hope. So we actually wouldn't see much of Night Stalker until the Classics canon whenever they released. Mattel went through and released a Night Stalker, which I alluded to a little bit back when I did the Stridor episode. Stridor was basically nothing more than Super 7 getting the molds to Night Stalker and basically repainting it. But anyways, in the Classics canon, Night Stalker was built by Triclops and Trapjaw to mock Stridor. Skeletor rode Night Stalker a few times, but it was Jitsu who took special interest in the robotic horse. After Jitsu became Lord of Snake Mountain, he located the remnants of the Hate Stones and implanted them in Night Stalker's eye sockets. It's basically transformed Night Stalker from a machine into a mechanical nightmare. Eventually, the Demon Steed turned on Jitsu and ran off into the blighted plains of the Dark Hemisphere. So really not too much shown there. Now in 2012, the DC Comics, there was a fleet of horses called Night Stalkers. They were used by King He-Man's troops in a dark vision of the future, where King He-Man had basically become a tyrant ruling Eternia with an iron fist, and his troops were all mounted on grim Night Stalkers. All right, so there's part one of tonight's show. If anybody's wondering where poor Justin's at, he actually had to work, and he's on his way over. Probably will not be here by time the show, or by time I end the show. So, actually, I'm going to use his chairs. Something to set some things on. All right, so now at this point is where we start looking at some of the toys. Now, in all honesty, Mattel, they're the only ones that ever actually put out the Night Stalker. Now, hopefully, with the new line of Origins toys coming out next year, hopefully we get a new Night Stalker. Now, I've got a Night Stalker. It is not complete. It is missing quite a few things, like its tail, the laser guns, and I'm pretty sure the helmet. But anyways, much like the Stridor, which basically, I mean, it was a repaint of the original Stridor. There ain't much difference. There ain't no difference in it other than the fact that, where Night Stalker is silver and brown and a dark brown and a light brown, Night Stalker is black and gold with purple guns and a purple chair. Still the same thing, there was no. Boy, I'm saying that, and I'm starting to wonder, was there a chance that maybe Mattel was planning on maybe giving it a little bit, because the legs are wiggling, all four of them. Maybe they had plans in it. Stickers, of course, have worn off after time. Probably one of the best things to get a hold of. You could have a bunch of them running around if you're playing in the yard with your Night Stalker. the Night Stalker, give the evil warrior something to ride in a battle on. Now, that being said, I'm. That's right. Night Stalker was never seen. I'm pretty sure Stridor was. Hold that thought, because I may have covered it. And like I said, it's been a while since I did that Stridor special. So to refresh my memory, let's see here. No, actually, it wasn't used in there either in the 2000X series, and I could have sworn that there was. And I'm gonna have to go through and like seriously take a look through, see if I'm right, see if I'm wrong. But I could have sworn that Stridor at least made an appearance in 2000X. Now, like I said, now while vintage wise, yeah, pretty statuesque, as far as rides go. But Mattel, whenever they did the classics line, they would go through and actually give us a bigger version, and boy, do I mean bigger. And this was probably one of the first rides I got for the Evil Warriors, and actually got. No, this is the second one I got rides wise, as far as when I started getting into classics. But the absolute size is like, wow. But anyways, they made sure like one. I mean, yeah, the tail moved, gun still moved around. Had the purple chair. They made sure to mold the robotics in. Molded all the robotics pretty well, including in the legs and all over on the chest of the horse. Instead, on the vintage, we had the stickers here. This is all actually molded in. Now, they did use stickers here for everything, and now it's got me wondering about something else once again. Okay, they did the same thing. See, I gotta refresh my own memory sometimes. It was still a sticker on Stridor. You still had the laser guns. You had movable joints on the legs, the way you can go through and give it the look that it had vintage wise. You did have the removable mask, which was really nicely articulated done. Head a lot better looking than the vintage one, but we also got the movable neck, so we could make him look like he was looking in different directions, stuff like that, which honestly was pretty damn awesome. I can say about the only thing I've really got issues with my Night Stalker is actually a little bit of paint overspray right here where it goes from gold to black. But other than that, actually not too bad. And he's like dusty as hell from where he's been sitting so damn long. So yeah. Oh, please don't tell me. Okay. So anyways, yeah. Night Stalker, true, see. Yeah, it was like one of two rides, honestly, for the Evil Warriors that we got from Mattel. We really didn't get we never got any rides from Super 7. So honestly, when it comes to stuff like that for the classics, think the Evil Warriors got screwed on this one. Like I said, all in all, it wasn't that bad. Like I said, I love what they did as far as, making sure, we had the articulation to make it look like it was running. If we wanted to pose it, have the head move, all the legs moving, the knees moved, the ankles moved on the horse. We still kept with the guns, on its shoulders, the laser guns, and the laser gun on the back end. Honestly, it was a nice touch from, truly pretty good upgrade from the vintage version without a doubt. All right, see what else was next. Oh, so since we talked about Night Stalker, now let's take a look at Night Stalker's favorite passenger. Damn cat. Another problem I had was yesterday, my big orange cat that you've all seen. So he's going to come up here and hop up on the shelves and knock half the 2000X figures over, half the classics over. And I'm not even sure what the hell he was after in here. But anyways, so Jitsu appeared in only one episode of Filmation. He was an obedient and a nondescript henchman. Came out on the wrong end of a confrontation with Ram Man. And the funny thing is, he wasn't called Jitsu. He was called Chopper. Now, whether people have heard about it or not, the only reason actually that Jitsu was only used in one episode was that some people thought that maybe the character was a little racist, because here you've got this, half bald dude with a ponytail. He's Asian, and he karate chops things. They thought it was bad PR or bad image. Don't understand that at one bit. In 83 mini comics, he was portrayed as an expert martial artist, delivered vicious karate chops with his massive golden right hand, was stealthy and enjoyed sneaking up on unaware opponents. Look, somebody's running around with a giant golden hand. Can't be that quiet. Unless Jitsu had the same powers as Thanos. We might get into that discussion here in a minute. What's that? Or we'll get in that discussion here in a little bit. The 83 Golden Books depicted him as Fisto's archenemy. Hell, didn't we already think that anyways as kids? Okay, we got a guy with a giant silver fist and a guy with a giant golden hand, chopping hand. Hey, they must be mortal enemies. He was seen frequently riding Night Stalker, which is funny because they didn't allude to that being in the research I did, that Night Stalker was even in the Golden Books. The 84 German audio plays portrayed him as a goddamn, just one hell of a night for me trying to speak. As a samurai and a karate master. He boasted that he killed his enemies with his bare hands. If I had a hand that big, I'd probably be killing people with it too. Just saying. The 84 German Interpart Condor Comics, he was a karate master. He came to Eternia from the Empire of the East as both a scout and an ambassador. His true mission was to see if an invasion was worth the trouble. Was quickly approached by Skeletor, who offered to act as a consultant. Was convinced to engage He-Man in a competition of strength. While he could judo chop rocks with his right hand and knock down trees with his head, he did lose the competition to He-Man. After that, he left Skeletor to go through and search for a more reliable consultant. Really, the dude should have done his homework and seen, fuck, man, if Skeletor can't do it, do I really need this dude consult me and trying to convince me what the hell? So we go from there. We go to finally the Classics canon because there wasn't much else that he was in. The 2000X series, they screwed us over again. No Jitsu, no Chopper, no nothing. But the Classics canon offered a new backstory for him. He was an intergalactic bandit serving time in the prison star when Keldor freed him. He swore his allegiance to Keldor and even continued to swear or keep his allegiance to Skeletor after Keldor was transformed into him. His skill made him vital in many of Skeletor's military campaigns against King Randor. His nemesis Fisto gravely wounded him at the Battle of Greatory Bridge. Now, at this point, he actually didn't have a giant golden right hand. Triclops replaced his damaged hand with a golden robotic gauntlet. Remained in Skeletor's service until the second Ultimate Battleground. After Skeletor departed Eternia, he did take possession of Snake Mountain, ruled for many years, battling King Randor's forces and Strobo as well. He was later recruited by the Unnamed One in an attempt to obtain the Star Seed. Even as an old man, he was still a formidable opponent for the Masters in the third Ultimate Battleground. So dude lived a while, man. He even took over Snake Mountain. Kind of proud of him. All right, so we've seen what he looked like. We know what he looked like in the filmation. So when we got the toy, the vintage toy, he very much had that evil henchman look. You could tell, all right, he's part samurai, part karate master, especially with the chopping hand. Here he's got this golden right hand. It looks like, honestly, you turn it a certain way. He's scooping water, honestly, and just chucking it backwards like, eh. Always had his sword. Had some badass armor that, honestly, a lot of people do get this confused with King Randor's armor. However, Jitsu's armor will not fit King Randor, and I'm thinking it's the same the other way around. Randor's armor won't fit Jitsu. But yeah, I mean, it was a pretty sweet deal as far as, the hand goes. I mean, you could go through, honestly, and yeah, and take the golden hand off. You could switch his hand up with Fisto's. I think at one point, I had like an extra Fisto, like long ago when I was a kid. I got my dad to hold for me so I could switch his hands up. There we go. There's the water scooping action. Connection is unstable. What? I'm going to have a chat with MetroNet over this shit. Anyway, this one it's actually still in really good shape. I mean, legs are still tight. All the arm joints are tight. Head's still actually in pretty good shape. A little dusty and all that. You can actually still see the eyes. And the arm action actually works pretty well. Honestly, I like what they did with this one. I really do. With the black and gold boots and Yeah, I haven't washed my hands off from where I was painting earlier. Lost track of time and realized I had a show to do. um, he's got the thunder punch action, or the thundering action. Shaya, shaya. The only problem I ever had is like with his sword, it was always turned the wrong damn way. Center holding it, he's holding it freaking backwards. He's just gonna club people with the edge of it, and there went the sword. But anyways, yeah. Even as a kid, and even still today, if I got a Jitsu, guess what? His ass is going right there and be riding Night Stalker. Told you it would all come together some point on how I was doing this. So, like I said, he wasn't in New Adventures. He wasn't in the 2000X series. So, Classics rolled around, and they gave us a more updated and awesome looking version here. He had his sword, which was actually had the blade turned the right way so he could hold it. Did an awesome job on the armor. Gave us a bonus here. We're had a little miniature sights on the back end to where he could remove them and everything, so he could use those too. Now, don't have the karate chop in action or anything like that. Articulation is nice. You still had the gold and black boots with like a dark gray banding around the boots. Definitely, you got more of that samurai slash karate master type look with the head sculpt. Now, here we go. The giant robotic golden gauntlet. That, if they had one more little spot, you almost swear a Jitsu was at one point holding on to the Infinity Gauntlet. He just about basically beat Thanos to the punch here. I wonder if he tried snapping his fingers and see if everything, half of existence would disappear by, oh yeah, kiss my ass, He-Man. You're out of here. Definitely a beautiful job on the sculpt and everything. Honestly, this is like one of the figures I do like. The only thing I think I would have done different was maybe thrown in an extra hand, made this thing to where it was removable, giving us like a regular hand for him, or even one that had like the scoop action, kind of like what we had with the vintage figure. I think that really would have been cool, without a doubt. But anyways, yeah, so there's a pretty good look there at Jitsu. And now we will put Jitsu over here on the classics. Night Stalker, where he belongs. Kind of nice with the hand and everything. Way it's made, you can make it look like, okay, he's holding on to it. Raising the sword up in the air, charging in the battle. So yeah, nice look there at Jitsu and at Night Stalker, without a doubt. And like I said, I'm hoping that when this new animated series on Netflix comes out, that they actually use Night Stalker and they use Ninja or Jitsu. Hope they use Ninja too. Open up the wide spectrum of Oh, Lord, of figures in the series. It'd be a nice touch. All right, so we looked at Night Stalker. We looked at Jitsu. Night Stalking Chopper. That part's covered. Now for the big special reveal. Now, anybody follows me on Facebook on some of the pages has probably seen me working on this project before. Let's see here. Probably for the last, let's see, I think here. When did I start actually working on this? I'm going to say that it was like last July. So, like, I started working on this project back in July of 2018. I kind of let off of it for a little bit, stopped working on it. From time to time, I would start working on a little bit more of it. Now, for the most part, I mean, this thing is done. There's a few little things I'm still going to do to it. Just basically kind of spruce it up a little bit. But anyways, we'll get to that here in a minute. So let's talk about the basis behind this idea here before I unveil this figure. And yes, this is honestly a one-of-a-kind, one-time special. What's up, Castillo? Got home and got showered. I hear you there. I got home. I figured I'd shower later because I was too busy working on some other stuff. And before I go any further, Kevin, I'm going to unveil this, which I know you already know, so don't be spoiling it or anything for anybody, not even on here, because I want to see if anybody bothers to go through and watch this and check this out. All right, so do me a favor, don't be spoiling anything. Honestly, the only thing I got left to do with this figure is make him a weapon or two. But all right, I got sidetracked. Anyways, so last year's like I'd seen the Spirit of Hordak and the Spirit of King Grayskull, and I got to thinking, especially after reading the Eternity War some more, about what about a figure based on, say, if Man of War or Man at Arms had actually gotten killed in the 2012 DC Comics. Now, with his as much as him and the Sorceress worked together on various things throughout the years and throughout all canons, would he actually transcend, much like King Grayskull did, much like Hordak did, and become like a spiritual guide for future men-at-arms, for He-Man, for Teela, especially after she became the Sorceress? So I was like, all right, I'm going to make a Spirit of Man-at-Arms. Now, I didn't start out making molds of the actual Man-at-Arms. I broke my Man-at-Arms down into pieces. As far as the chest piece went, I went through and used a buck from something else in order to make that. Now, I didn't fully break down the buck, and I'm starting to kind of wish that I would have, in which maybe if I do it again, I might do that so I can make it a little bit more movable. But anyway, so like I said, I decided I want to make a Spirit of Men at Arms. I started molding or making molds of pieces, and then going through and adding, trimming out, doing a little bit of work to the molds to kind of give him that he's been, he's dead. He got killed in battle. So I was like, all right, I'm going to try this to see how it goes. And honestly, it didn't come out that bad. Like I said, I do still have a few things I probably need to work on a little bit more. I'm going to do some more sculpting on his hands with this to kind of give him some pieces. But I literally went through and I made myself a Spirit of Man at Arms. And much like the King Grayskull, he actually glows in the dark. So here we go. And like I said, the hands still got a little bit of work to do to them. I'm going to trim that out. But I got to where the arms will turn a little bit. It does turn. The elbows do, in fact, move on him. The wrist will turn a little bit. And the same goes here with the arm. It's got the armor on it. Moves a little bit. So is the hand. The legs, they don't move forward, but they'll turn. Uh-oh. They will turn. They are supposed to turn from side to side. I know one does. The knees do bend. And before I decided to glue the leg pieces on, the boot would actually turn. Now, he didn't get a full piece of armor, actually, because of the back piece, which is actually still in sculpting hell. Now, I also did make him to where he would turn from side to side like that, which is still pretty awesome. His head does turn a little bit. I drilled that neck hole out just a little too much. But still had a little bit of turning here. And like I said, I still got a little trimming up to do on him. But this is honestly 14 months of hell with molds, sculpting, and other bullshit. And just where he's got. And yes, believe it or not, I did use the mustached head for this. Kevin, the original prototype stays in E-Daddy's personal collection. Now, I'm not saying I won't make another one. So don't fret. However, just realize it has been a giant pain in my ass. I do have still most of the molds. Some is not going right with some of my molds. For some reason, this one, it's like it's still partially melted. So luckily, I do have a spare head for the Spirit of Man at Arms. I do still have a lot of pieces here, to be honest with you. Do still have another buck here that I still got to put a neck peg in there. There's still a lot of work to do on something like this. But with as many extra parts I made just to, it's possible I can make a second one. Good buddy. But I know one thing right now. Other than the prototype there, and yeah, I'm gonna make you one, don't worry. As many times as I've tortured you with sliming man-at-arms on this show, um, it's still, it can still be done. Um, and honestly, the only reason why I didn't like make the straps for the like the leg armor and um, the arms is because it was such a pain in the ass to get it just right. I mean, I've got an extra piece here for, you know, a second one, which, like I said, it's possible it's actually going to get made. But trying to do those straps right was just a giant pain in the ass. So that being said, I will have to say that I have got to give Joe Amato a shit ton of credit for doing the things that he does on making all these awesome looking custom figures, you know, all the sculpting and uh, all the sculpting he does, making the, you know, the molds for pieces. Good Lord, I've got to give that man a shit ton of credit because like I said, a year and 14 months, I honestly went through, and to be honest with you, a lot of pieces, yeah, they were a giant pain in the ass to try to get that right mold, you know, just to make these, you know, make some of these parts. Um, it was it was a task without a doubt, and like I said, I still have a majority of the molds for the figure, which I honestly do actually plan on, Kevin, because I did promise you that I was going to do it. I am actually going to make you one. Um, it might look much like mine, you know, multicolored parts and shit. But yes, you are going to get one. And then I'm going to try to do a complete one. Um, at some point, if some of these groups continue to do the um, Toys for Tots thing that they do, which honestly is a great thing right there. Um, try to make one for Toys for Tots. Send it to the man in charge of that, and let him spin it off for something that will honestly only have 3 um, until Mattel goes through and rips off my fucking idea and makes one. Well, wait a minute, they ain't making classics figures no more. So seriously, this will be, they get made. Like I said, it's just something I'm giving away. Found out because, like I said, I've done a lot of sculpting onto the parts, you know, from the original Man at Arms, and I will say that I may bitch and complain about it a little bit, but I tell you what, there's nothing like, honestly, when you get a figure like this done and you're sitting there and you're looking at it afterwards and you're just like, wow, I went through and I busted my ass and I sculpted this out and I got, remolded things and cast shit. And I actually made this. I can say, all right, you know what? This dude is seriously going into the collection without a doubt. And to be honest with you, Kevin, the only people that know about this are going to be anybody that goes through and watches this show. But other than that, as of right now, the only people that honestly know about this thing being done is myself, you, and my wife. That's it. So yeah, I can honestly say I'm actually very, very proud of this figure. Very proud of the way that it came out. And like I said, just overall, just like I said, I gotta give props to Joe Amato and to anybody else that does custom figures. Joe's the only one I know really does it. I know a lot of people goes through and they do a lot of repaints on figures, but this right here, oh, there's one other person that knows, and it is Joe Amato. Because I had to show him, I had to brag about it. So yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean, for my first time around, like I said, it was just you know, trying to getting the legs, boots, the arms done. Really wasn't that big of a deal. A lot of times, just trying to get the molds just right, and then cutting the molds out to where I'd be able to get the pieces out, and then go that route. But because I'd go through and I'd mold a piece, and then I'd go through and I'd do something different with a little bit of clay to the piece, and turn around and recast, remold that, make a cast. It looked fucked up. I'd toss it out. I'd do it again. Oh my God, it was. I'm going to be willing to say that I probably spent probably like $100 just on mold making stuff, just to get it right. Um, so like I said, finally, just getting it, as good as what I got it. And like I said, for that one, that right there is the prototype. That's the piece together prototype. There is one thing that I did have a giant fucking problem doing, and it's those little caps for the elbow joints and the knee joints. God, those things are a bitch to do. Because it's a matter of trying to get it just right, and then turn around and trying to get it to fit in the spot, because I don't really want to put this thing in hot water because I'm afraid what it will do. Be my luck that some bitch would fucking dissolve in fucking hot water, and I'd really be pissed. Oh yeah, we ain't gonna discuss how much I probably spent in just that clear resin cast. glow in the dark paint. But I'm honestly proud of myself for being able to pull this off. And undoubtedly, this will be one that goes up here on the shelf and will be in the 2020 edition of the best sculpted, designed classics figures. Because even if Mattel ain't doing it, guess what? This guy still will. And if at any point in time anybody from Mattel watches this and wants to try to do this, they better come find me first, because I'm honestly planning on trying to like patent this damn thing. The old Spirit of Man at Arms. Look, I'm telling you, I still got plenty of stuff here. Another piece of armor. Probably next one up, or one of these though, I'll probably go through and actually bust the buck down so I can go through and individually mold these pieces out. And this way to try to give them some articulation. Because like I said, it's a chore without a doubt. But gotta say, I'm proud of myself for doing it. So, but all right, right there, that was it. That was the big reveal. Big Spirit of Man at Arms. We talked about, let's see, I unveiled the Spirit of Man at Arms. We talked about Night Stalker. We talked about Night Stalker's frequent rider in Jitsu. So, all in all, it's all good. Looks good. Now, I know for the last few weeks, I think I've been promising I'd do a review on Mossman, which I do plan on getting around to it. I'm honestly just waiting to get a hold of a vintage Mossman. Got a buddy that's promised me one. He's shipping me like a bunch of stuff. I just don't think he's had the time yet to ship it. I don't know. With as much as I've been working, I haven't seen any of his lives or anything like that. See what was going on with that. But so next week, I don't know what we'll do. Don't really have an idea, but do I ever? Okay, sometimes I do. A lot of these I'll miss just on the fly. But anyways, I'm E-Daddy, your angry toy guy, and until next week, keep doing what y'all doing, keep collecting up and everything, and we'll see you next week.